And here this lady was, had something most precious to her in her life, and she was willing to let it go so that it could live instead of keeping it and having it to die. You got to know when to roll and when to fold. You really do. You really do. And I want you to see these two women, these two harlots, these two prostitutes, these two innkeepers. Because this is really a story about the struggle and the fight over our seed, over the very thing that you have given birth to. And he's really trying to steal the identity, because one has already had death in them and now they're trying to work death in the other one. One lady's baby is already dead, and so now she's willing to have the baby divided so that you don't have a baby either. And she's still upset because she killed her own baby, and now she doesn't want this other woman to be happy because her baby's alive. And so she's trying to steal the identity. Now she's confusing things before the king as to whose baby this really is. Whose baby is it? You know, we often say, is mama's baby daddy's maybe? But whose baby is it? Whose identity is this? This is really about two women struggling for the identity of the seed. The fight is always over the seed. The fight is always over what you built or what you birthed. Are you listening? It's always, the struggle is over the birthright. It's over the birthright. It's over what you have given birth to. Something is trying to kill what you've given birth to. You've labored, you built something, you birthed something, and there's always a struggle trying to kill it. This other woman, let me help you to understand, this other woman's identity is not really a woman, it's a spirit. And it is marked by infidelity. Because infidelity is trying to rob the identity of what you birthed. It is marked by domestic violence. Because domestic violence, even though it may be against the mother or the father, but the children become the victims. It is the other woman claiming the identity of the child so that the child cannot function in a normal world now because they've seen such belligerence in their home that they don't know how to function in a society now because they've been victimized by the other woman that has snatched their identity and made them confused as to who they are. And the other label that comes on it is substance abuse. This other woman is marked by substance abuse because when they can have an alcoholic father or an alcoholic mother, the child becomes the victim. They take the child. We don't recognize this other woman. There is something that is clamoring to try to take the life of the very thing that you've given birth to. It can be a business or it can be a baby. It can be a dream. It can be something that you've given birth to, and something is trying to snatch its life through some technicalities, robbing the identity. But here's the principle that we learn here, that when you don't know how to handle something that is trying to rob the identity of what belongs to you, take it to the king. Take it to the king and plead your case before the king. The king has wisdom. The king has discernment. When you don't know what to do with your son or your daughter, when you don't know what to do with your business, because I declare to you that whatever you birth out into your life, whatever you birth out, at some point is going to jack up on you. If you birth a business, it's going to get in trouble. It's going to need money. Are you listening? You're going to have people to steal from you. You're going to have legal issues. You're going to have tax stuff that you're going to deal with. Whatever you birth out, it's going to give you some problems. I don't care whether it's a business or whether it's a baby, a son or a daughter. Whatever you birth is going to give you some issues at some point. You birth it out. And this is the manifestation of God's kingdom. It is conceived inward. We carry it in. Then we birth it out. Then it jacks up on us at some point. Then you have to lift it up to God. You have to present it to the king. You have to present it to the king. The kingdom, it is the direction of the kingdom. It starts inward. We birth it, manifest it outward. And then when it messes up, we lift it upward toward God. Until it is lifted upward, it cannot go onward. It cannot go onward. And that is the direction of the kingdom of God. He's trying to stop the very thing that you've given birth to. So there are always enemies. Every dream that is given of God will experience, I promise you, it will experience opposition. And it will experience something that will come in the face of it that will threaten it to say, this thing is not going to live. It's not going to happen. I'm going to block it. I'm going to mess up stuff. Things were going well on your job. Things were going well with the vision. Things were going well with this. And now, bam, here comes a problem. Because in front of every prophetic promise, there's always a Red Sea. There's an issue that you're going to have to figure out, how do I get across this? How do I get across this? And God has already designed the sea that when you get in it to try to traverse the sea, you build the strength as you're crossing that thing. You build the strength for the next challenge that you're going to deal with down the road. Because you don't ever just experience one life challenge. But the strength that you need for the next challenge is found in overcoming the current one. And as you overcome that, you build the strength. You build the strength. God has built strength in the very obstacles that in which you deal in your life on a daily basis. He's already built it, and there's something that he's designed for you to be able to overcome. But here's the principle here that I want you to get. You never cut what you have the power to untie. Never cut what you have the power to untie. Remember, the king said, bring me a sword. The woman said, you know what? I'm going to untie this thing. Let her have it. Let her have it. Go ahead and let her have it. I'm going to untie it because I don't want to cut it. If I cut it, I kill it. Never cut what you have the power to untie. She had the power to untie it.